Sign the transfer papers, or I'm walking out. My husband Marcus actually had the nerve to slide a deed transfer form across our kitchen table, right next to a cold cup of coffee. He had secretly promised our fully paid-off home, the house my late grandmother left specifically to me, to my younger sister, Vanessa, so she could start a boutique design business. And he expected me to just stamp my approval on it. I didn't yell, I didn't break down crying, and I certainly didn't sign a single page. Instead, I used my legal sole ownership rights to sell that property out from under both of them, liquidating every cent into a private account. And when his mother realized the family golden egg was gone forever, she absolutely lost her mind. If you're new here, subscribe, I post a new story every day. Okay, so let's rewind for a minute, because to understand how insane this whole situation was, you need the full picture of how Marcus and my sister were operating. I had been married to Marcus for 5 years. The house we lived in, it didn't belong to Marcus. It never belonged to Marcus. My grandmother passed away 3 years into our marriage and left the property directly to me as a sole inheritance. Because of that, legally speaking, it was 100% separate property. My name was the only one on the title, the deed, and the tax records. Marcus knew this. But Marcus also comes from a family where his mother, Patricia, believes that once a couple gets married, everything the wife owns automatically belongs to the husband's family umbrella. Patricia was always making comments like, when Marcus takes over the estate, or, our family is so blessed to have this property. I used to just roll my eyes and ignore it. And then there's my sister, Vanessa. Vanessa is the family golden child. She has never kept a real job for more than 6 months, always bouncing from one dream venture to another, usually funded by someone else's savings. Now, here's where I'd have lost it. Even early on, Marcus and Vanessa had developed this super weird, unified front. Whenever Vanessa needed money for an investment opportunity, Marcus would pressure me to lend it to her. Whenever Vanessa complained about her landlord, Marcus would suggest she move into our guest house for free. I kept setting firm boundaries, saying no every single time. I'll be honest, I didn't expect what came next, because I never thought they'd try something so brazenly illegal. 6 months ago, Vanessa came up with her biggest idea yet, opening a luxury home decor studio in the city. She needed over $200,000 in startup capital and collateral for a massive commercial loan. She went to a bank, but obviously, with zero assets and a terrible credit history, they laughed her out the door. So what did she do? She went to Marcus. And Marcus, feeling like the big hero of the family, made her a promise behind my back. He told her, don't worry, we'll use our house as leverage, or we'll just transfer the property deed to your name so you can secure the funding. Yeah, read that again. He promised to give away my inherited home to my sister, without even asking me. For 2 months, the two of them worked behind my back with a shady local notary to draft transfer paperwork, trying to figure out how to get my signature or bypass me entirely. When Marcus realized the notary couldn't legally process anything without my direct signature, he finally brought the papers home, put them on the table, and gave me an ultimatum. Vanessa needs this more than we do. If you don't support my family, I don't see how this marriage works. I sat there looking at this man, completely stunned. Would you have lost your temper right then and there? Let me know below, because I felt this ice-cold clarity wash over me. Instead, I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I picked up the papers, put them in my bag, and said, I need to think about this. The next morning, while Marcus was at work, I went straight to a high-end real estate attorney and a top-tier divorce lawyer. My real estate lawyer looked at the situation and said, since the house is strictly in your name as an inheritance, you can list and sell it tomorrow. He has zero legal claim to the equity. So that is precisely what I did. I put the house on the market at a slightly below market cash price for a fast sale. Within 4 days, an investor made a full cash offer with a 10-day closing period. While Marcus thought I was thinking over signing the house to Vanessa, I was packing up my personal valuables, setting up a new bank account in a completely different bank, and finalizing the sale. On the day of the closing, the wire transfer hit my new personal bank account, every single cent of the house's value, liquidated and completely liquid. I rented a beautiful apartment across town, had a moving crew clear out all of my furniture and belongings while Marcus was at work, and left the key on the empty kitchen counter alongside divorce papers. When Marcus got home to a completely hollowed-out house, he went into a total panic. He called me 30 times in 10 minutes. When I finally answered, he was screaming, "Where is the furniture? Where are you? What did you do?" I told him calmly, "I solved our problem. The house is sold. It's closed. The money is in my account. And you have 30 days to move out before the new owner takes possession." The silence on the line was deafening. Then came the second wave of chaos. Marcus had to go tell Vanessa that the house she was planning to use for her business loan wasn't just off the table, it was gone. Vanessa threw a massive tantrum, calling me selfish, evil, and a terrible sister who ruined her life's dream. But the real show started when Marcus's mother, Patricia, found out. Patricia drove straight over to my new apartment complex. Marcus must have tracked my location or told her where I went, and started pounding on my door. She was hysterical. She started screaming in the hallway, "You stole my son's legacy. That house was supposed to stay in our family. You liquidated his future." I opened the door just a crack, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "That house was my grandmother's gift to me. Marcus didn't build it, he didn't buy it, and he sure as hell didn't own it." She threatened to sue me, she threatened to call the police, she called me every name in the book right there in the hallway until building security had to physically escort her off the premises. She was completely shattered and humiliated, realizing that her son's entitlement had left him with absolutely nothing. The fallout during the divorce proceedings was swift. Marcus tried to claim half of the liquidated funds from the house sale in court. My lawyer handed the judge the inheritance documentation, the deed history, and the text messages where Marcus was trying to pressure me into transferring the property to Vanessa. The judge dismissed his claim instantly. Because it was non-marital inherited property kept entirely separate, he wasn't entitled to a single dollar. He walked out of that courtroom with his personal clothes, his car, and thousands of dollars in legal fees. Vanessa's business idea completely collapsed before it even started because no lender would touch her without collateral. She ended up having to move back in with Patricia, where the two of them now sit around complaining about how I ruined their family. Marcus had to rent a tiny, dingy studio apartment, taking on extra shifts at work just to cover his expenses and pay off his attorney. Meanwhile, I used a portion of my liquidated funds to purchase a beautiful new condo outright, completely debt-free, and invested the rest into a high-yield retirement portfolio. I cut off contact with Vanessa, Marcus, and Patricia entirely. Looking back, it's amazing how entitled people become when they think they're automatic heirs to things they never worked for. They thought they could back me into a corner and force my hand, but all they did was push me to take total control of my own life. What would you have done if your spouse tried to give away your inheritance behind your back? Would you have sold the house out from under them like I did, or tried to work it out first? Drop your verdict in the comments section below. I read every single one. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for a brand new Reddit story every single day. I'll see you all in the next video.